Welcome back to this week's episode with me, the Mindful Guy.
Today on The Mindful Guy, we're going to discuss the power of judgment. At some point in our lives, we've all experienced what judgment is. Either we've been the judge or the receiver of judgment in some way or another. For me, there are two types of judgment. The first is constructive judgment. This is the good kind of judgment, where the objective is to improve the standard of something or someone. This can be rephrased as constructive criticism or constructive observation. The outcome is to become better at what we do, or the best version of ourselves. Some examples of this are, the food this time wasn't as good as last, but you're heading in the right direction. Or, do you believe your actions were that of a good person? Both these examples leave the judged with something to think about and work with. The critique is finite. That is, your standard of food has dropped, or your behavior needs to be reflected upon. These are all okay, as the judgment is designed to build the person up, whereas the other judgment is used to break down the receiver of this type of judgment, as well as not provide them with anything other than break their confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem. Most sufferers of mental health have been on the receiving end of this type of destructive judgment. Some examples of this would be, if only you were like your sister, or you're going to amount to nothing. To be very honest here, these examples are somewhat light and fluffy in comparison to what most victims have experienced. If you've experienced this during the first 7 years of your life, the time when your subconscious mind sucks up everything like a sponge as your brain develops, then the chances are these belittling comments will be hardwired into your mind. And as soon as you become self-aware, your internal dialogue or ego will start acting out in destructive ways, as they go from being comments to beliefs. Your own internal dialogue will try to find a way to remind you that what people have told you in a negative sense is actually true. Once you have these beliefs, you begin to act on them. And by acting on them, you get the expected results that prove the negative judgment about yourself is actually true. And so the cycle repeats. There is also a greater chance that you'll pass this on to your children. This is why mindful practices are important. If you approach your thinking as an observer with no judgment, you will begin to see these negative judgments for what they are. Lies. You will begin to awaken from this cognitive coma and filter your thoughts and feelings, questioning where they have come from and why you believe them. In my experience, I have noticed that I was the biggest judge, and I believed that I'd only be good enough if everyone liked me, or I obtained a certain standard or status in life. I always felt like I had to prove myself to everyone, because then I'd be worthy. I'd be enough. That was my belief. It was also my biggest lie. But once I began filtering my thoughts, I realized these were irrational, and the only standard I was trying to live up to was my own, based on my belief system. Once I understood that, I would search for when I first felt like this. This allowed me to put my self-judgment into perspective and remove any meaning from my thoughts. I realize now that you're not your thoughts and beliefs, no more than you are the thoughts and beliefs of others. I just need you to remember, you came into this world kicking and screaming, but you were perfect in every way. You were pure and free of any judgment or condemnation. So why do you feel so hypercritical of yourself and others now? I guess that's what you're here to find out and learn from. It's time to get mindful and reflect on yourself. By not judging your thoughts, feelings, or actions in the past or present, but seeing them for what they are. Beliefs that are planted like seeds in your mind, and over the years you've watered and nourished them. And now it's difficult to tell between imaginary beliefs and real truths. Let me know if this helps, and I'll see you again on the next episode of The Mindful Guy. If you like what you hear and you want to see more,
click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons, or leave us a comment in the comment section, and I'll see you again on the next episode of The Mindful Guy.